Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of We're Screwed. I am your host, horror author James Hershey Jr., and with me, as always, my co-host, old boy James Ash. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing pretty good. How's everybody tonight?
On this episode, I want to talk about something that a lot of people are pretty pissed off about, actually. And my wife actually showed this to me yesterday, and I was like, "What the hell?" It seems that Casey Anthony, yeah, that Casey Anthony, is on TikTok now, and she is giving legal advice or some such thing, like supposedly helping people that need legal advice that are being screwed by the system or some such shit. And I just it, it floors me. I can't believe it. This is a case that I followed pretty extensively. It was pretty interesting to me. And for those of you that don't know, Casey Anthony was accused of killing her daughter Kaylee. She was a little bitty girl at the time, and she claimed that the nanny, who she named Zanny the nanny, um, actually took the child and disappeared with it. And she told a bunch of lies during. She said like she worked at Universal Studios and all kinds of stuff that turned out not to be true. There's a lot of different theories on the case. Some people say Zanny the nanny didn't exist, which is pretty much the accepted thing, is that it was not a real person, but that it stood for Xanax. That she used to give Kaylee Xanax to knock her out so that she could go party. I'm not going to get into the whole case here. That's not what I'm talking about here. But it just blows my mind that she is now on TikTok and giving legal advice and all this kind of stuff. Like it's no big deal. Like you didn't like do what you did. Now, granted, you know, innocent till proven guilty, all that kind of stuff. So I guess let's put a big fat hairy allegedly in the box here to make sure that I probably won't. I'm lazy. I won't add it later, but I said it so you understand. Everything I say is allegedly during this video because I have no idea what the truth is. I wasn't there, but it just trips me out. But I don't know why I'm surprised, actually, because she's not the only murderer or accused murderer, alleged murderer uh, that's on TikTok. Uh, Gypsy Rose. Let's talk about Gypsy Rose Blanchard. Everybody remembers her. Her and her autistic boyfriend murdered her mom in her bed. Pretty horrific. And then pretended like they didn't do it, like just ran away and we're going to live happily ever after with his parents. Or, it's a crazy, I'm sure all you guys know that story. That's a crazy story too. But she's on TikTok and she's doing the whole TikTok thing and involved in the TikTok drama and, with her man Ryan that she had. And now two are pregnant and this one's pregnant, that one's pregnant. It's one of those kind of things, man. A bunch of damn drama and gossip and nonsense. Uh, but she's on there and she kind of built up her brand some, and had like a lot of people that were following her and cared about her. And, she has like blowback that comes at her too. Don't get me wrong. I mean, you just don't do what she did and not have blowback, you know. But I guess Casey Anthony saw Gypsy Rose's TikTok stuff and said, well, hell, if she can do it, why can't I? Because she actually went to jail for what she did, you know? So I guess Casey thinks she's got it good there. But I don't know, it just rubs me the wrong way. Like killing your mom because she abused you growing up, which is what Gypsy Rose's story ended up being, right? That's what her claim was, is a lot different than killing your like 3-year-old baby because you want to party and shake your ass. And she's kind of a drag to have around, right? Because that's what the Casey Anthony story is. Allegedly. Let's say that again for the peanut gallery. Big difference, you know. I'm almost willing to say that Gypsy Rose would be a lot better than Casey Anthony just for that fact. You know what I mean? And this is obviously assuming that both of them did it. They're both guilty, right? Um, because that's not how it turned out in court for Casey Anthony. She didn't get convicted and go to jail, which is crazy to me anyway. Because what the hell happened to the baby? Like, dude, that little girl would be 20 years old right now if whatever happened to her hadn't happened to her. And at one point in time, Casey Anthony was the most hated woman in America. People hated that chick because that was a beautiful little angel that got taken, you know? And her constant lies through the whole investigation were absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely freaking ridiculous. And it's one of those cases where I don't understand how the hell she didn't get convicted. It doesn't make any sense to me because it was so obvious that she lied about everything. They found blood in the trunk, all of this stuff, but somehow she skated, right? So people still have a grudge against her for that. They're pissed about that she got away with it. And now here she is on TikTok giving legal advice and trying to pretend like she's a good guy, and I think wouldn't be as bad as if she would feel guilty about what she did and say, look, I got away with it in court, but everybody knows I did that shit, and I feel bad, and that sucks, And more of a contrition story might be a little bit better for her, but this shit of acting like you're innocent and now you're the good guy when the entire country believes you're guilty, that's I don't know, man. It don't sit right with me. So I just wanted to kind of open that up for discussion with old boy here and give my 2 cents on it. I think it's messed up. Now she has the right to do it. I'm a firm believer in freedom of speech and First Amendment. I think no matter what you want to talk about, you should be allowed to talk about it. No matter how vile, how disgusting, I don't care who it is. I think everybody should have the right to speak. Even the most heinous stuff that you can imagine, you should have the right to talk about it because that's what our freedom of speech is. It's not to protect stuff that everybody wants to talk about. It's to protect the stuff that's not popular. You don't need the First Amendment to protect popular speech because everybody wants to hear it. You need it to protect unpopular speech. So I'm not saying deplatformer. I'm not saying that she doesn't have a right to be on TikTok saying whatever the hell she wants to say because that's her right. And I am 100% anti censorship, 100% in favor of freedom of speech. So I'm not saying get rid of her, but what I am saying is, that's kind of fucked, ain't it? That's my view on it. I don't care much for her. But anyway, that's my thoughts. Throw over to old boy, see what he has to say.
See, I have my opinions on it. Look, you do have a right free speech, but if you're threatening people and doing that's not free, that you're actually making threats. So there's some speech if you're threatening to unalive people and hurt people, that's different than just saying something. You should be able to say what you want, even though most people ain't going to agree with it. Because if you censor that one thing, they're going to go for everything, and not everybody's going to get along. And I get it, and not everybody has the same opinions. Some people think you're racist. Some people think you're a commie. It doesn't matter what you think. There's always going to be somebody mad. So, and you guys are actually seeing me all together because you're not used to seeing old boy like this. I've changed a lot in the last couple of years, but I still agree with James. Most stuff should, except if you're saying heinous things like about doing things to people. I don't agree with that. If you're talking about molesting people and kids and women and raping women, I'm not cool about that. But I think that's different than just saying something because you're talking about something that's illegal, but it's free speech. I don't know. I have a couple things that shouldn't be said, like stuff like threatening people and stuff like that do bodily harm and murder, and that's a whole different story than talking about doing a murder. The problem is she was found not guilty, and that's just the way it goes. You can't stop somebody from talking just because you don't like it. I mean, we all don't like her, and we wish she would went to jail at the very least. Most of us think she should have been unalived at the electrocuted, whatever they do now, gas, and no one would have felt bad for it. But we can't stop her. She got found not guilty. That's the way our system works. I mean, I don't know if it's the smartest thing because she's got a lot of people that hate her. I'm not saying that, but I don't know if you should be go on there, look what happened to that one guy that snitched on everybody, that rapper. They beat the shit out of him one night and stuff like that. That could happen. These even rappers that got shot because of certain shit they said on TikTok. That's why I'm saying you gotta be careful, man. Like, I'm not saying any kind of, I'm just saying altogether, anyone, what you say could, you're right, your freedom of speech, but that doesn't stop for people from punching your mouth. That's the difference. You can say whatever the fuck you want, but doesn't mean I'm gonna fucking beat the shit out of you. Maybe even, hate to say, you could even get unalived. And I'm just giving you a warning. I'm not saying, by that. I'm just, we're fair warning. You never know. I've been in fights over that shit. I'll tell you this right now. People are gonna push your buttons, and they'll say some horrible shit. But there's just some things you don't say to certain people. I'll fight you. I don't care how big you are, whatever. I'm not saying I can kick everybody's ass. I'm not that kind of person. Neither's James. And I warn you, say something to him, he might do something if it's in the wrong way. Now, if you tell him to go fuck himself, he'll just laugh at you. But I'm talking about something that it's going to make him mad. But I agree. Even though I know there's going to be people, you guys, no. What I'm saying is, she has the right to say what she wants. Now, people want to blast her. People want to get her blocked. They have the right to get her off because they feel that she should have been found guilty. The problem is she wasn't. And I think that's the end of it. Now, if they want to redo the trial, and they should, this is something they need to change. Because I think if you can, even if you found guilty, not guilty, to keep checking on the case, because you never know. Down the line, you get more evidence, and you can reopen a case. Not that once you're found not guilty, you're done. That doesn't mean you didn't do it. It just, you got away with it. The problem is you can't keep having this done all every week. It would have to be rules. If you think, with a shadow of a doubt, you could do a mistrial, and they did it. I mean, they did the trial again, and she was found in a mistrial. So remember that the second trial was a mistrial. There were some people who thought she was guilty. Can't prove it. I mean, you could, but apparently people don't think they think they list. And I get it. Certain situations, like the one they did with the artisan, they just did it to go because they didn't want the kid, to go dance and party. My opinion is, like, if you don't like it, block her, delete her. I don't like her. I don't even care. I'm not following her. I care, guys. Don't get me wrong. I just block her. People are gonna bitch enough to the point where they're probably gonna get her accounts banned, and then she'll probably sue, and then she'll win because she was found not guilty. Now with online, that was so many years ago. I don't know how that would work. I don't know what they could do on. I mean, there's a different laws with the online. Remember, it's not the same as. Remember, online's a different world now. Things are changed. People think that certain words shouldn't be said. My personal opinion is, I wouldn't be sad if they took her off fucking altogether. I wouldn't cry. But the problem is, you live in America, you guys found her not guilty, what can you do? I mean, the only thing that's going to happen is she's going to end up being a millionaire because you guys are going to make her a millionaire. That is probably what's going to happen. You guys are going to make this woman a millionaire, and she's going to write a book, right, James? She's going to write a book, and the movie will come out, and she'll be a multi-millionaire. I mean, you guys made Manson a millionaire. People don't even realize, how much Manson made off his drawings, and Gacy, that made all this fucking money. Manson made millions of dollars from those documentaries. He didn't get the money, gave it to his family, but they had to pay him for that shit. And they were letting him do shit like write books and do online chat. He made a shitload of money. He would have been in a jail cell. She still would have made money because she would have just sold her rights. My personal opinion is, if you kill people, and I get that situation, that one's hard because she was abused. So the other one, no, there's no shadow of a doubt. You killed a kid because you didn't want the kid there because it was too loud. So you killed your kid. I'm sorry. Those two, done. That's my opinion. But that's why I couldn't be on the juror, because I would have found them guilty right there. I was done. And I just, they had so much evidence. And I'm going to tell you, people get what they deserve in the end. Karma always comes, and they'll get what they want. But I kind of agree with James. It's very hard to tell people just because it offends you. Everything's going to offend somebody. Anything, and anybody says, 90% of the time, if it's bad or good, people are going to have a point of opinion on it. Just, there's nothing you can do about it. But I agree. You got to be careful what you do with free speech, guys, because they'll go after everything. They'll start acting like they're doing something, then they'll start saying, well, you can't say anything about the government. You can't say anything about your friend, or that's jail, just like they did in Britain. If you talk about certain things, they throw you in jail. And then you, even if you have proof, they still do it for 20, 48 hours. No, we don't need that. That's bullshit. People don't like each other. That just happens. Now, I'm not saying to go do anything bad to anybody. Just stay the fuck away from each other. And that will be the end of it. You don't have to say nothing to anybody. You don't have to worry about it. I get it. People say some shit to get you mad. You know, at the end, though, I mean, you know how many times I've been called shit? You know how many times everyone in this world's been said something bad about? It just happens. Some people just use it as fuel. There's nothing you can do. Some people have different attitudes. But that being said, that's all I got to say, brother.
Yeah, the one thing I would say is that to wrap this thing up is people underestimate the power that they have in a situation like that. You know, I mean, the comment section is a brutal place. And I guarantee you, her comments of her videos are going to be filled with people saying some outlandish shit to her. You know, calling her a baby killer and asking where her daughter is and all that kind of stuff. I'm not saying do it. Okay, I don't like bullies. I'm not saying go and bully this woman, but I'm saying that's what's going to end up happening to her. So in a way, they're going to kind of get their pound of flesh from her one way or the other. You know, they may not have been able to get her in a jail cell, but she's going to put herself in a prison of her own making because she's going to read those comments. And when you read those, and most people read their comments because people are egotistical, they're vain, they want to know what people are thinking about them. They want their praise, right? Kids today, they say they want their flowers, and she's going to do that. I guarantee you, she's going to do that, and she'll feel it. You know what I mean? She'll be up at night, not being able to sleep because of what these people are saying to her, because it gets underneath your damn skin sometimes, you know. So that's what I would say. But I'm gonna throw it back over to old boy, let him give his, final shout out thing, and we'll wrap this puppy up. Go ahead, brother.
Yeah, thank you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this quick one. We're doing some different stuff now, making them a little bit shorter for you guys. Andy's here sometimes, and he's not. It's because of his job. He'll be here again, and we'll have other people come on once in a while too when he's not. Thank you for following us on YouTube and Spotify. We're gonna try to get the show eventually on Apple. We're looking at it. It's just stuff we're talking about. But that being said, you guys want merchandise, get shirts, stuff like that, follow us on James Hershey's YouTube page. Just subscribe. And I think that's what a lot of problems is. They see James's YouTube page, and then I'm just doing his. So why that he's controlling, steering, and what worse fruit because I let him do it. So there's no point in having all kinds of different, YouTubes and stuff like that and getting people confused. So that's why we did it. But that being said, everybody have a good night, and we'll catch you later, motherfuckers.
Yeah, thank you guys for watching. I think we're gonna try to do this format more often instead of having like one long show. Have like several short shows where we can talk about multiple different subjects, like a different subject each little video or whatever. I think that would be better. Who knows what the hell we're going to do? We do whatever the hell we want. So it's hard to tell what you're going to see. But anyway, thank you for watching. Appreciate you. Love you guys. And we'll catch you on the next one. Till we speak to you again. Love many, trust few, and do harm to none. God loves you. So do we. Bye bye.